There's an old saying in sports, if you can't beat them, steal from them. And that might be Nebraska's plan as they host both former Ohio State quarterback Kyle McCord and wide receiver Julian Fleming on a visit. Now, the ultimate question comes to, will these two be lacing it up in Lincoln in 2024? Let's talk about it. If you are new here, welcome on into the channel. My name is Cole Thompson. I'm a radio show host based in Houston, and I talk college football daily. So if this is the type of content you enjoy, make sure you smash that subscribe button down below. Leave a comment telling me your thoughts on Kyle McCord and Julian Fleming potentially being a part of the Huskers program in 2024. Tell every Nebraska fan about this channel, plus your friends, your family, your mortal enemies, your best of bros, the drunk dude passed out in a Waffle House parking lot, your entire church congregation, and really anybody that loves college football. That way we can continue the race to 1,000, then 5,000, then 10,000, then 100,000. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get there. So you might as well jump on in while the water's fine. Give me a follow on social media as well, at Mr. Cole Thompson. We talk college football over there nonstop, and we're going to always talk college football here. So Kyle McCord and Julian Fleming plan to visit Nebraska on Monday. They will meet with Matt Rhule and then decide, are we going to stay in the Big Ten or will we go elsewhere? I think it's pretty clear at this point that this feels like a package deal. Whoever lands Kyle McCord is also getting a proven quality wide receiver. Keep in mind that Julian Fleming may not have the production of Marvin Harrison Jr., Chris Olave, or Garrett Wilson, or anybody else who strapped it up at Columbus, but he is a damn good receiver. And you know that because he was the number one wide receiver prospect back in 2020. And the same thing kind of goes for Kyle McCord. Here's the bottom line. Kyle McCord was not perfect this year. I think everyone can attest to knowing where his faults were. And I think a lot of people understand that this was a kid who, if they don't have 2 turnovers in the game, you're probably playing for a college football playoff spot. But if you don't have a good quarterback, you would absolutely love to have Kyle McCord on your roster. You are out of your mind and lying through your teeth if you said you would not want a kid who threw for over 3,700 yards, beat a team like Penn State. Their defense was fundamentally sound as all hell and also was able to get 24 plus touchdowns. I think you want that kid on your roster, leading you to game-winning drives like you did against Notre Dame. I'm pretty sure you want that kid. And Nebraska needs a quarterback. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Husker fans. You don't have the quarterback on your roster right now. You don't. It's not there. You can tell me all you want about Chubba Purdy. He is not his brother 2.0. He is not going to, I think, finalize his status next year. You went for Jeff Sims. That failed miserably. And the numbers don't lie. You know, production doesn't lie. And I usually don't lie when it comes to college football. Most things also lie in life, but I don't lie when it comes to college football. This was the second worst offense, passing-wise, in the Big Ten. And Iowa, it's a tall task to beat, but somehow we had those conversations. This was the 128th ranked passing offense in the country. They averaged 6.2 yards per play. They had 16 interceptions against 10 passing touchdowns. Do you know who was worse than Nebraska? I'll save you the trouble. Iowa, Air Force, who runs the football and pretty much only runs the football. Navy, who runs the football and only pretty much runs the football. And Army. And that's the list. And we're done. That's how bad your passing attack was. So I don't want to hear from the Purdy truthers out there that you believe that this is going to be fixed overnight. It's not. You need a guy to come in and finalize your roster and stabilize the passing game. And by the way, don't think that you're reticent to not adding in wide receivers. You definitely could use a handful of those pass catchers too. And if you get a guy like Julian Fleming and utilize him properly and get the best version out of him, you're trending upward. And if you get a guy like Kyle McCord and you utilize the best version of him, you're trending upward. Matt Rhule is a program builder, and everyone knows the baseline about how he does his business. It is a carbon copy paste formula that's gone everywhere. Happened at Temple, then it happened at Baylor, now it's happening at Nebraska. First year, lay down the foundation. Weed out the weak, bring in the strong. Year 2, try to get to a bowl game. Year 3, you are humming. You are strumming. You are doing everything possible to finally be respected. And Temple, they were respected. And Baylor, they were respected. And Nebraska, you've watched any of Matt Rhule's motivational speeches, you are ready to run through a wall. The man should have gone into politics. He is that cunning and that charismatic when it comes to invoking true grit from his teams. And he's going into year 2. So we know what the bowl game is. We know that the status is now getting bowl eligible and maybe getting a few upset wins in the process. You need a quarterback. You need a wide receiver. And these two, they're pretty damn good. In fact, you will not find many wide receivers as talented as Julian Fleming. You will not find many quarterbacks in the transfer portal that can match the persona, when used properly, of a guy like Kyle McCord. And if these two end up culminating into a dynamic duo, kind of what we saw a few years ago when you watched Jordan Addison and Kenny Pickett thrive at Pitt, you get that version, you're trending up. And I'm not talking about bowl eligibility. No, Husker fans. I'm talking about 9 wins. I'm talking about 10 wins, an upset, maybe 2, maybe 3. Oh, by the way, it would just be so fitting for you to beat Ohio State because you play them next year in Columbus. So that's another game that you can watch and say, how fitting was it that the kid that wasn't utilized properly, and the quarterback that was given all the blame, is now running the show and pulling off the upset in front of the home crowd. Pretty special, right? I think that this is a good move. I really do. I think that honestly, when you look at these two and what they can bring to your staff, it only elevates the passing attack. It only strengthens your offensive identity. And you still have a good run game and you still know how to build offensive lines. And that's been a testament of what Matt Rhule's done. He's a great defensive-minded coach and he understands defensive formalities, primarily in the trenches. So you get that version to continue to grow and prosper. Look at that. Now we're talking about Nebraska actually being back, and they're really trending upward. You swung and missed with Mike Riley. Hate to break it to you. I love Mike Riley. He's been a fan favorite of mine for years. I had a great relationship working with him in San Antonio, but he wasn't the guy. You brought back Scott Frost. You held on to Scott Frost way too long. Never was the guy, and his reputation is now ruined in Lincoln for the foreseeable future. And now you get Matt Rhule, and you get a guy that knows how to do things the right way. Sometimes the right way is taking a good hard look in the mirror and saying, we need outside help. We need to get players that fit our culture, but more so are talented enough to take over games. Because you didn't have that this past year. Oh, God, you didn't have that this past year. And yet you still found a way to get to 5 wins. Pretty special, in my opinion. This is a good move if you land both these players. Now, the ultimate question comes down to, do they like what you hear? Are they excited to be in Nebraska? Would they like to stay in the Big Ten? Because there's going to be schools out there that want both Julian Fleming and Kyle McCord. And I can tell you this much. There will be a multitude of programs that will be willing to offer both and give them the right NIL money because they realize that this could be a special dynamic passing set. If you land these two, you're in a very good spot. I really like this fit also for what you're going to run with Scott Satterfield. I think that there's a good shot that you can get the best version of these two and playing at an all-time peak. And if they thrive, the only person you got to blame is Ryan Day for not properly utilizing them. But make no mistake, you want these two in Lincoln. You don't need these two, but you really want these two. Thank you so much for watching that video. Don't hit the X button yet. Make sure you hit subscribe to keep up with all of our daily content found on Just Saying It and anything else that we post on this channel. Bye.